As you can see, I'm on a road. But on a road to where, you ask? Well, I'm on a journey into the phenomenon that is the world of video games. It's an industry that's now bigger than the movie business. So I'm travelling to the heart of America to find out why. Places like here, in Las Vegas, all the way up the west coast to sunny Seattle. I'll be meeting up with people who helped shape the video game industry, like John Madden here. As well as a few people whose lives wouldn't quite be the same without it.
Hello!
So climb aboard as I travel around the world in 80 games. First stop, Las Vegas, a town in the middle of the Nevada desert, seemingly made of light bulbs and raw cash. Known worldwide as the mecca of American gambling, but what about video gaming? There was no other way to find out than to immerse myself as quickly as possible in all things Vegas. So I hit the casinos to find out more. Next morning, my hunt for the lowdown on American video gaming began in earnest over breakfast with two of America's most controversial gaming luminaries, developer Vince Desi and Bill Kunkel, the godfather of American video game journalism.
In '81, we started Electronic Games magazine, which was the first all electronic games, video games, whatever magazine in the world. Over the course of the intervening years, I guess I produced about 6 or 7 magazines and God knows how many websites and designed about a dozen games.
And how did you get into that? You were a gamer?
I was just a gamer, yeah. And you know, in 1978, when the Atari came out and the Odyssey came out, it became obvious to us that this is going to be a software-hardware medium now, and they're going to need people to review the software.
Vegas, to me, has kind of blown me away a little bit. Is it not affected you?
Yeah, well, but I've been here for 13 years, so it's just like, you know, you can't go from very low levels underwater to the surface, you know, like that. You know, you get the bends. But after adapting for a while, your blood thins out a little bit, and you get used to the sound of coins dropping into metal trays all the time. This is a town where gamer actually has, and gaming have another meaning entirely. When you talk to people in Las Vegas about gaming, they're not talking about Pac-Man. And if you think about it, our form of gaming is kind of the next generation of that. In fact, if you walk in these casinos, you see the results of it. You see the fancy graphics, the fancy animations.
This idea that gambling and gaming are so closely related explains what I'm doing in Vegas. So next, I went to meet Don Ryan, who manages Microsoft's online gaming website, Zone.com, where apparently you can play casino games in your lunch break. So Don, tell me about yourself.
I run the PC online effort for all of Microsoft Game Studios. I also am responsible for the website Zone.com, which has all of our casual effort. It has games for everyone there. It has free web games, puzzle games, word games. It has multiplayer, card and board games, classic games.
If I wanted to get my mum involved in online gaming, this is a good place to start, right?
Yep, absolutely. It's a great place. We have one of the largest free bridge communities on the internet right now.
This isn't gambling, right?
No.
But presumably you can get reasonably good at blackjack,
yeah,
and then take those skills to Las Vegas.
Yep, just exactly like our bridge. That's the whole theory, is that we have a free experience where you can
come to Las Vegas and then lose all your money if you need to, but with better experience.
Exactly. Be more skilled at losing your money.
And I suppose you've been doing some research for sort of different kinds of games that you can implement on your site, right?
Absolutely.
It's been great talking to you, Don. Thanks a lot. Are you going to give me a ride back?
Absolutely.
Okay, great. Well, that was really interesting. But are puzzle games and online gambling really what Americans love to play? What is it that people really, really want in America from their computer games?
Personally, I'm not a fan of some games where you just play and it's once and I'm done. That to me is like going to a hula house filled with ugly broads, you know?
Yeah.
Well, I think Americans like cinematic movies. I think we like to pretend we're in a movie.
That's an important factor,
Yeah.
isn't it, really?
When I say cinematic, I mean in the sense of whether I'm flying a plane or whether I'm running and fighting in the jungle and shooting a machine gun. I want to feel like I'm in a war movie, or I'm in, you know, and I'm in that environment where there's kind of a storyline around me that's holding me in. It's not just Flight Simulator 3 where I'm flying from Dallas to San Francisco. There's a point, there's a bomb on the plane, there's a terrorist on the plane. Then it suddenly becomes cinematic. Then I'm not just flying this plane for the hell of flying the plane, it's an experience.
So Bill says that flight simulators are boring. Well, I had to put this to the test, so I went to Boulder City, just outside Vegas, to meet Bruce Williams, who advises the eggheads at Microsoft on how to really fly.
Why don't you take the stick for a moment and just get a feel for what this airplane's like?
Bruce has worked on the Microsoft Flight Simulator series for 8 years. And if his simulations are anywhere near as realistic or terrifying as his actual flying, then they certainly couldn't be called boring.
I'm going to do a high G turn for you. Let you feel a little G before we do the loop. Are you ready? Yes. I'm going to do this to the right, just like the fighter pilot feel. Here we go. Got a bogey on our tail. That was about 5 Gs.
You have to be interested in aviation in order to be interested in a flight sim.
I think so.
But you don't necessarily have to be interested in rally driving to enjoy a rally game.
Now, here we go. To the left.
Some people want to have the fantasy of flying an airline. Other people simply want to go up and see what the world looks like from 3,000 feet. So it comes from a variety of perspectives.
Are you all right?
Absolutely.
You've got real pilots, number one. You've got real meteorologists. You've got real terrain. How far are you going to go? You're going to have, like, the tarmac's got to be the right, you know, shade.
We hear from our users all over the world, and they will tell us if there's something wrong. They're very, very fanatical about the detail.
1, 2, 3, 4. How's that? How you doing?
We have a feature called Real World Weather. If you're connected to the internet, you can click a button and you download all of the current weather conditions for around the world, and we recreate that weather for you. You can fly to more than 22,000 airports. Virtually every airport in the world is in there.
So real pilots use this?
Right, all over the world.
Really? And that makes you feel good, right?
Yes, well, it does tell us we're doing at least part of our job right.
Well, that was quite an incredible experience. I can't feel my stomach and my chin feels like it's been pummeled through my pelvis.
After that stomach-churning experience, I decided a more relaxed mode of transport was needed. So I met up with Vince to dig deeper into the mind of America's most controversial video game developer and find out what really rocks American gamers. Where better to do this than on a gondola ride in the middle of Venice? Well, this is Vegas.
You're an Italian, right?
That is true, all the way.
So this is like home for you, really.
Home for me is Brooklyn, New York, but this is outrageous.
I want to talk to you about Postal and Postal 2. For those viewers who don't understand, tell me about what it means to go postal, for instance, because that's an important start, isn't it?
Gotcha. The concept of going postal began in 1986. An individual who worked for the post office went crazy, shot 14 employees, killed his boss and himself, so he totaled out 16 people. And from that day, a journalist coined the phrase going postal. But today it's really extended to any time anybody goes off.
Right.
If they went off, you say, he went postal.
And that's a good benchmark to start a computer game, right?
Right, and we wanted to make a game that was no nonsense, run around, shoot, and have fun. In Postal 2, it's a first-person adventure, but along the way, anything is possible. It's almost as unreal as this gondola ride here. One of the interesting environments we have in Postal 2 is a bar, Fire in the Hole. And in it, it's like a disco, people are dancing, having fun. Now you could go up to the bar and hang out and just watch.
Right.
Or you could take out the gasoline can if you have it.
Right.
And basically set gasoline, strike it with a match, and set the joint on fire. Jesus just is one of the options.
It's all about options.
All about options. It's outrageous. It's funny.
Mommy.
Postal 2 seems to me something that is quintessentially American.
The gene pool is stagnant, and I am the minister of chlorine.
People worldwide find it attractive.
But Americans like this stuff.
But also Europeans. In the UK, people love it. We have tons of email from people all over Europe.
Yeah.
Postal 2 offers you a slice of reality that you normally don't get. And thank God we offer it in the form of a game, because we're very strong believers in violence belongs in games. It doesn't belong on the streets. We don't condone actual violence.
Thanks a lot for that, Vince.
Thank you so much.
Arrigo, I think it's time for a song.
Thank you.
Some say the world is made for fun and frolic, and so do I, and so does he. Some think
I think I was starting to understand Vegas. It's a town people come to escape reality and live out their fantasies. Okay, the bright lights and waterfall volcanoes aren't my thing, but Vegas is the #1 holiday destination in America, attracting 30 million people every year. It has 9 of the world's largest hotels with 120,000 rooms and 325 limos. Oh, and Las Vegas actually means the Meadows. The next day, I was struck by a strange thought. Would I learn more about America's attitude to video games by actually being in one? So I went to Westwood Studios, Las Vegas's only motion capture facility, to fulfill my fantasy.
We decided to start the company because we were tired of working for other people that didn't seem to have the passion for the products.
Saying I'll go ready and action, and then you'll perform the motion. So look straight ahead, don't look at me.
Westwood Studios has been built as a totally independent studio. That's really not, it's one way we differ from most EA studios in that everything that you need to make a game we can do here in Las Vegas.
Action.
You've stuck with Las Vegas. Why have you done that?
I was born and raised here, and that's a good question.
And you're a hardcore gambler.
No, not at all. Don't gamble. And that's why.
strange.
That's why I can live in Vegas.
Everybody I meet, he's actually from Vegas.
Yeah, you don't gamble.
You've got to be kidding.
You ready? And action.
Motion capture technology has helped the industry recreate some of the greatest sports stars of the world.
In fact, we've had Tiger here. We've had basketball players here, and everything. It's great fun. Yeah.
And now here I am, in all my glory, doing the air and shuffle. Eat your heart out, Tiger Woods.
Sorry.
And finally, I was in a video game, Westwood's Earth and Beyond. Look, there I am.
Well, video games are clearly not real. Vegas is a living video game. Because here, you can do anything.
I remember when they brought Alexis Pajitnov, to the guy who invented Tetris, to Las Vegas. First time he'd ever been in America. And they bring him to
poor
Las
guy.
Vegas, and they bring him to the Consumer Electronics Show.
Oh.
Okay. He sold more food in 15 minutes, he said, than he'd seen in the last 15 years. The buffets with the ice swans and everything. The next time I saw the guy 6 months later, he had on a white hat, he had on a flowered shirt, he had on the colored pants. It was amazing. But that's what happens when you first stop in America is Las Vegas. It can do you irreparable damage.
And it certainly did, when that night Bill and Vince decided to show me their Vegas. I was hungover and ready to leave Vegas, but I needed to travel in style. It's been great, and I now understand Vegas is just like a video game, helping millions to escape into a fantasy world of thrills and spills. Bill and Vince did all they could to corrupt me, and Bruce did all he could to make me vomit while upside down at 3,000 feet. But now, it's time to move on.
Hi there. Oh, Dave, how you doing, man? You got to get me out of this town, man. All right.
The open road. Goodbye Vegas, and thanks for taking all my money. So where to next? Well, I'm on my way to a sleepy little mountain town just over the Nevada-California border, where two of America's most flamboyant gaming characters wanted to tell me the story behind their video games.
Right, you got to check this out. It's a big tour of America, and we've obviously got to get a big bus. Look at this. We've got satellite TV, DVD. It's absolutely fantastic. If I ever had a Cadillac, it'd be the interior would be in this colour. This is wonderful. We have a fridge, and in the fridge, naturally, all of life's little necessities. But here is my bunk, which is absolutely tiny. The massive crucifix in the ceiling. I'm going to kick back, relax, watch some TV, and I'll see you soon.
My first encounter was with Rick Dyer, the creator of Dragon's Lair, the first arcade game to use a laserdisc, and an endeavour that made him a legend in the industry. Dragon's Lair is known to roughly 300 million people worldwide. But what about in Julian?
How many people live here?
Well, the population here in 1850 was about 1,400, and the population today is about 1,400.
So this is the fella then.
You're the man behind bringing Dragon's Lair to our fingertips in the arcade.
You control the actions of a daring adventurer.
It's my child.
And you've told everybody that I'm Mick Jagger's brother.
Well, I went up to him and I told him that I said, Mr. Jagger wants me to make sure that I tell you that it's not really him.
But people keep coming out and shaking my hand.
Well, they're coming.
Sir, I'd just like to shake you by the hand.
Oops.
Who are you, Rick? What are we doing here?
Oh, who am I?
The truth.
The truth is I'm a 12-year-old who started developing games. I never grew up, and I got lucky in that I was able to make a living at it.
Insert 2 coins. Well, okay. So we should go for a 2-player game. Yeah?
All right. In video game development, it's a razor-sharp line. The details, the polish, the little things truly make the difference of whether you've got a disaster or a hit on your hands. It's amazing how important that is.
And presumably you became a millionaire overnight.
Well, you have to remember I was 29 years old, and I had no context of what it's like to be successful.
I suppose you're pretty good at this. After 20 years of practice.
When you're getting $350,000 royalty checks every other week, it does something to you.
Yeah.
And you go, what? What? Look at all the zeros. and so yeah, it was pretty amazing. You're up.
Okay.
Not yet. Go.
Right, I burnt into a firing pit of hell.
It was the very first 50-cent game, and it was a kind of a do or die decision we had to make because the Laserdisc player was so expensive. This machine costs double what a normal arcade game cost back then, and so it had to work at 50 cents because otherwise it would take too long for the operators to get their money back. they'd never had anyone come to them with an application that where the disc had to play 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. And so what the manufacturer came up with was they backed it with aluminum. Normally this would be your second side of your disc, but they had to do that because otherwise what would happen is the heat caused these things to top hat or warp.
Yeah.
And with a laser disc, that's critical. If this warps 1 millimeter, it goes out of focus on the laser beam, and it can't read it. With Dragon's Lair, it was paying for itself as fast as 1 or 2 weeks, which was a phenomenal rate of return for those operators.
Was that me?
That was you.
Oh, I didn't. Oh, sorry.
As a matter of fact, one print reporter came up to us and shared that he had, as a child, went on his first trip to Hawaii the week that Dragon's Lair was introduced there. And he said, after I saw the game, I played it all week and I never saw the beach.
Lead on, adventurer. Your quest awaits.
Rick Dyer, ladies and gentlemen.
It's just me.
I see y'all out there in TV land. How? Welcome to the world of Afro Thunder.
Hey, how are you, man? Hey. Good to see you.
Nice to meet you, man. This hair is great.
You like it?
Yeah.
My next appointment in Julian was with the curly-haired Orpheus Hanley, a sound designer for games, who is actually most famous for being the inspiration behind a certain Super 70s pugilist.
That's great. I love your dogs, man.
Are they all over the place?
Yeah.
Come on in, everybody come on in.
Okay, great.
You do music for games?
Music and sound effects for games. In the studio, grooving on. I keep it real.
During his career as a sound designer, Orpheus has worked on games like Cruising USA, Hydro Thunder, Double Dragon, and of course, Ready to Rumble 1 and 2.
And you are the man behind Afro Thunder.
I am definitely a big part of the Afro Thunder franchise.
You gonna go easy on me?
No, somebody's gonna have to call a doctor! How? He was in the works, and they needed a personality to fill the void. And so what did I do? I wrote some words together, ran to the microphone room, started yelling, how? Gave us a personality, came edit it, put it in the game.
Do that again, that noise.
How? I was like, that big Afro boy looks like that, and I think I can do this. And so I put it in there, added to the character in the video game, looked at it, started laughing, went and got the rest of the team. Everyone took a look at it, and Afro was born. He was a serious character who could beat all the other personalities that was in the game. And trust me, we had every personality in the game, and we didn't care who we spoofed, and everybody was over the top. I also wanted to make sure that he was recognized for being black, you know, being a black video game hero.
Afro Thunder in the house! My encounter with this video game legend was all too brief and rather exhausting. Time to leave sleepy little Julian and get back on the road to California, the heart of the American video game business. There was only one place to go to next: Los Angeles.